Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time tuning in. My name is Orlando and on this channel we talk about fragrances, and in today's video I have a list of the fragrances that I think kind of stood out in 2024, or kind of the best releases of 2024. So these are the fragrances that I've tried, or some of them I own as well. So I haven't got all of them obviously in this list, but just some of them I tried and I really like. So I think these kind of are, in my opinion, obviously the best releases of 2024. So I'm going to start with, I kind of just made a list here. I'm going to start with some of them that I've tried, and in fact in some of them I still have the dry down on the papers. And I'm going to start with the first one that I've tried, and I think is really, not the first one I've tried, but the first one on the list that I think is a very nice fragrance that was released in 2024, and that is Louis Vuitton Lovers. And this, it's kind of a very simple fragrance, but very, very pleasant. It's kind of summery, light, and woody, with lots of sandalwood, I would say. So yeah, it's kind of nice, light, summery, and also slightly creamy from the sandalwood fragrance. Really, really nice. I really enjoy it, and I still have it here on the paper. So it's a very lovely fragrance from opening to dry down. So I really like it. Another one that I think is very popular, and it's popular for a reason, is Boss Bottle Absolu. And so I have here is a very kind of strong fragrance. I mean, it still smells here after a couple of days. And the main notes that you're gonna get here is patchouli, myrrh as well, maybe a bit of incense. And also, it's not mentioned, but I get tobacco. So this reminds me a bit of Carolina Herrera Mystery Tobacco. So it's a very nice kind of rich, sweet tobacco fragrance. Really worth trying. It's a very nice fragrance, and I might add this to my collection because I think it's very, very pleasant and smells. The dry down is really good too. So, I mean, Carolina Herrera Mystery Tobacco is like one of my favorite tobacco fragrances, if not my favorite. And this is kind of very similar, but of course at a much cheaper price. So this is, yeah, is Boss Bottle Absolute. Yeah, great. Next one is from one of my favorite houses, and that's Ex Nihilo. This is basically, well, it's a new fragrance for 2024, but is an extrait of another fragrance they already have, and is the Hedonist extrait. And this one is just so good. It starts up really kind of strong, fresh, with notes of grapefruit, ginger, lemon, and then you have lots of kind of woods and vetiver. So this is kind of a vetiver. It's got a vetiver dry down, so it's a woody vetiver fragrance. But it's got a slight sweetness. Really good. I mean, it's really rich, really good. I really like it. I mean, I already like the Hedonist, but I think this version, the extrait, is much better. So it's a great fragrance. One to add to my collection, maybe. The next one that I have is, I haven't got a paper thing, but I remember trying it, and so I tried this one on my skin, and I thought it was a very, very good fragrance, obviously, and that is Jusbox 54. It's it's kind of sweet, dark, patchouli, chocolatey fragrance. It reminds me a lot of Raw Gold by Thomas de Monaco, but less the animalic notes that the Raw Gold has. So it's um, more of a sweeter, less animalic, obviously, version of Thomas de Monaco Raw Gold. So it's very good. It's very kind of semi-gourmand with lots of patchouli, and yeah, I think it's a very great release. The next one is Maison Crivelli Oud Cadenza, and this one, it's really really good. I like it because it's got caramel, and caramel is like one of my favorite notes in perfumery. So it's got loads of notes, but you get the sweetness, and the caramel note here is quite prominent, and then with a woody background. I didn't detect as much of oud as you detect on oud maracuja, for example. I mean, oud maracuja is very you the smell of oud is quite prominent there. This one not so much, but it's a great fragrance. In my opinion, I think is great. So that is Oud Cadenza by Maison Crivelli. Um, the next one on my list is Guerlain Patchouli Paris, and that is a very interesting fragrance because it kind of reminds you of some fragrances from the past, and I think that's because of the aldehydes that it has. So it's got lots of aldehydes in the opening, but then the patchouli comes in, and this kind of and if you've got vanilla as well, I think. So it's kind of dries down to kind of a warm, slightly sweet vanilla patchouli fragrance. So it's really, really good. Um, I remember the longevity is very good too, and it projects quite nicely for a fragrance like this. So really interesting. It's a very refined smell as well, in my opinion. So that's the ones that I've tried, and also another one that I haven't got a bottle but is on my wish list is Vanille des Afriques Intensivo by Ormonde. This is a great vanilla and Doris fragrance. So it's vanilla and Doris. So it's got two types of vanilla, but it's not a sickly sweet fragrance. It's more of a kind of very almost a green fragrance, but it's so smooth. It's so well blended. I mean, I love the vanilla and orris together. And then here it's just done to perfection. It's got two types of vanilla, I believe, like bourbon vanilla and Madagascan vanilla. And it's just done so nicely. And I think maybe the vetiver here also has got vetiver. Maybe stops it from being too sweet. So if you don't like vanilla fragrances because you think they are too sweet, you should give this one a try, because this is just not your typical vanilla fragrance. This is a more kind of dry, um, almost fresh, I would say, vanilla Oris fragrance. Really, really good. And this is in my wish list for sure. I really want a bottle of this because I think it's great. I mean, as you guys know, vanilla is my favorite note, and this one is just done to perfection. That is Vanille des Afriques Intensivo by Ormonde, and I do have a video dedicated to this fragrance actually. So the next fragrance on my list, or the next five fragrances on my list, I actually have a bottle of them, and I'm gonna start with this one. That's Tom Ford Eau d'Ambreleda, and this is a 2024 release, obviously. It's under the toilet, so but it's not is not that similar to the original. I think the only bit that here that reminds me a bit of the original is the leather note here, but the leather note here takes um, back step in a way. It's not as prominent as in the original, and the most prominent note in this fragrance is the vanilla, um, but it's got a lot more than just that, because it reminds me quite a bit of Resende Mateo number 5, but this one, I mean, even though this one lasts a very long time and projects really well, uh, it's not as strong and as dense as Resende Mateo number 5, which in my opinion is quite good, because that the Resende Mateo number 5 has, to some people and also to me sometimes, it has this rubbery smell, which I don't find very pleasant, and is really, really loud. It's a very loud fragrance and it fills up a room. While this one is a bit more subdued, and in a way, I kind of like this one more, because I think it's kind of more wearable in a way. Maybe that's not, yeah, I mean, I don't like really strong fragrances, so for me, this one is kind of wins over Resende Mateo number 5. But Resende Mateo number 5 is a very nice fragrance, but I prefer this one. Some people compare this to Yves Saint Laurent Baby Cat. No, I can't see anything there. Maybe the vanilla, but that's about it. I can't see um, much resemblance there. But anyway, so that is Tom Ford, Eau d'Ombrelleda. So I would say that that's on my fifth spot if I'm going to rank these last five. The next one is more so that one is more of a autumn winter. This one is more for spring summer, and that's uh, Le Sel d'Issey, I think that's how you pronounce it, by Issey Miyake. And this one, um, it's a very kind of fresh, salty. It's marine, but then it's got. I'm sure it's got like vetiver as well. So it reminds me a bit of a more of a summery version of Ganymede, and this is actually done by the same perfumer, Quentin Biche. Very, very pleasant fragrance. Leans slightly masculine, but it's, I mean, it's lovely. I think one of the best releases, and not many people talk about it, and that is L'Issel d'Issey by Issey Miyake. Great for spring and summer. My next one, and I think is again one of the best releases. I mean, this last three for me are some of the best releases of this year, and that is Shamanilla by Zara. And this one is, if you like vanilla, coconut, um, woody fragrance. I mean, I'm not too sure if this has got. Yeah, it has sandalwood. Um, it kind of reminds me a bit of Matière Première Vanilla Powder, but not as intense as that one. And I think the vanilla powder has um, that type of Palo Santo, while this one has sandalwood. Um, but they're kind of similar in smell. So if you like vanilla with coconut, slightly tropical, um, it's a great fragrance. I know it's marketed towards men, or you can find in the men's section in Zara, but this is totally unisex. And a great fragrance. Longevity and projection is also very good. That is Zara Shamanilla. Next one on number 2 spot, one of my favorite vanillas ever, and that is Encore une fois by Infiniment Coty Paris. Not sure if I've done a video on this one, but This is a great, great fragrance. One of my, as I said, one of my favorite vanillas ever. It's very warm, it's very cozy, not um, too strong. It's more of a skin scent, um, but it lasts a long time as well. So it's beautiful. I mean, the wearing experience with this fragrance is just amazing. Um, so I love this. It's great. If you haven't tried, I think you should try it. It's Encore Fois by Infiniment Coty Paris. And last but not least, you probably have guessed, is of course Chandigarh Express by Ex Nihilo. And this one, um, well, for me, this is the best leather fragrance I've ever smelled. It's just, oh, it's gorgeous, and this stuff in the air also smells great. I mean, it's leather, it's sweet, but not too sweet. It's slightly woody, um, very warm. It's kind of warm, spicy as well. It's just to die for, and this is just really, really great. Longevity and projection is also really, really good. I've received compliments while wearing this fragrance, and yeah, is if I if I was going to have a signature fragrance, or this will be one of them. Really, really great. That is Chandigarh Express by Ex Nihilo at number 1. And that was my list for today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, just thumb it up, and also please consider subscribing to my channel. And thank you so much for watching and for your time. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.